वो लोग भी आ रहे हैं क्या, बच्चे? ओम। ओम यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं, यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तं देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि, ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादी नगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। सर्वतन्त्र स्वतन्त्राय सदात्माद्वैतवेदिने श्रीमते शङ्करार्याय वेदांत गुरवे नमः। योऽवतीर्ण इहाचार्य रूपेण यतीनामुदे श्रीमन्नारायणं वन्दे तं हरिं करुणानिधिम्। मननाख्यं प्रकरणं वासुदेवयतीश्वरैः रचितं विस्तरेणाद्य संग्रहेण प्रकाश्यते। बालानाम् उपकाराय मम विज्ञानसिद्धये तत्र श्रीबालगोपाल कृष्णः सन्निहितो भवेत्। So upon making this inquiry as what is the cause of this physical body? Because acquisition of physical body, sharira parigraha, is the cause for dukkham. Uh, Now there are two types of people. Dukkham is experienced by everybody. But then there are people who have short vision. And by that short vision, then they are able to blame that I am suffering because of my mother, father, neighbors, wife, husband, children, politicians, so on and so forth. Then there are those who are able to see beyond even these forces. Because why is it that these factors have to be around me? So there has to be some reason that even these factors, these people with nuisance value, are surrounding me. So he goes into an inquiry as if I'm suffering because of these people, then why are these people surrounding me? Why are they in my orbit? And to this, then he will have to have this answer that whatever it may be, say suppose if I was not to be in this body, would I be suffering? So I am suffering as a husband of this wife, or I'm suffering as a son of these parents, or if I'm suffering as a neighbor of this particular man, then it is because that I am in this particular body and that's why in the situation. Otherwise, why? So, Sharira Parigrahadev, and anybody who now discovers is embodied, anyone who is embodied, there, that person, no matter even if he is born into a royal family, where he doesn't even have to lift his little finger to earn his bread, yet that person will also have his own share of suffering. So wherever there is Sharira Parigraha, there is Dukkham. Sharira Parigraha Dukkham. This is established. But what is it that is the cause even for the Sharira, the body to be acquired? And that there you find it is the karma. So wherever there is karma, there is Sharira Parigraha. When the karma is not there, then there is no Sharira. And therefore, even extending this understanding a little bit, we understand that by mukti, we mean a shariri mukti, freedom from this limitation of body itself. Okay? And therefore, now, how is this sharira born? Through your own past karma. Okay? So, though it apparently is seen that the material cause of this body is the Panchamahabhutas, and that also in their Panchibhuta forms, meaning the grossified Panchamahabhutas, the subtle Panchamahabhutas are not the cause. The grossified Panchamahabhutas are the cause of material cause of this body. You should understand the difference between material cause and the uh, efficient cause. Upadana karanam and nimitta karanam. Okay. Material cause means cause which will always be along with the effect, like the clay and the pot. So you cannot have the pot separated from the clay. And therefore, though the clay is the cause of the pot, you are going to say that the clay is the material cause of the pot. Whereas the pot maker is the efficient cause. Because without the pot maker, the clay would not have taken the shape of a pot. And therefore, in order for the pot to be born or created, you require the pot maker too. So we have pot maker as the cause of the pot, as well as the clay as the cause of the pot. Distinguishing between these two causes, the, the clay is called as the material cause and the pot maker is called as the nimitta karanam, efficient cause. So also over here, bringing our understanding to the present topic of discussion, we see that the Panchamahabhutas, which Panchamahabhutas? The grossified Panchamahabhutas. And we have a very specific technical term for the grossified Panchamahabhutas, and that is Panchikrita Panchamahabhutas. What is it? Panchikrita. We will see what exactly do we mean by grossification, the process of grossification. The author will bring us to that. But presently, this is good enough for us to understand what do we mean by this grossification. Panchikrita Panchamahabhutas are the material cause. So the material is the same, whether it is your body or a body of an animal or some other body. Material is the same. थोड़ा हेयर फेयर हो सकता है, but not much. Uh, so what? What is the cause that is creating such differences? That you have a nice nose and I have a nose like this. That you are tall, I am not. I have got such a body which is a perfect specimen of all the illnesses. You name it and it will be found with me. So what is the difference between these causes? What is the cause which creates the difference? So just as the pot maker is the cause, because of whose efforts, the pots will take different shapes. Some pots are going to be more rounder. Some of the pots are going to be elongated. Some of them are going to be still, vertically elongated or horizontally elongated. But there is difference, and that difference is because of the pot maker's effort. The pressure that he applies, or the way he puts his hand around that turning uh, mound of clay, is what causes the difference. Like that, the karma is the cause of difference. Why you have a body like that and why I have a body like this, or why even when you and me are born as human beings, why are we so different? And so karma is the cause. Hmm. Now, furthermore, we have seen all these things till now. Now he breaks into a newer topic of discussion. Meaning, actually, newer means the author systematically is leading your understanding furthermore. किंच यथा मृदी सत्यामपि कुलाल व्यापारे घटोत्पत्त्य भावः तथा ईश्वर सृष्टेषु पंचभूतेषु सत्सु अपि आत्मज्ञानेन कर्मसु नष्टेषु तस्य ज्ञानिनः शरीरं नोत्पद्यते. So now the material may be there, but if the kulala vyapara bhava is there, kulala means the pot maker. Kulal is the Sanskrit word for kumhar, kulal. So the kulalas, the pot makers, vyapara is effort of, putting the left hand like that or the right hand and applying particular kind of a pressure from inside or from outside that gives the shape to the pot. Correct? So if the more pressure is applied from inside, the pot will become hollow from inside. If the more pressure is applied from outside, it will become cylindrical, hollow. So now that is how Surahi will be created. Na? So now the question is, the thing is that though the clay may be there, but if the kulal stops putting the effort, which means the nimitta karanam is not there, then will the pot get created is our question. Obviously not. Similarly, now if the example is acceptable to you, now we take you to the point that the example needs to make. And that is that Ishvara Srishteshu Panchabhuteshu Satswapi. So the material cause is there. What is it? The Panchamahabhutas created by Ishvara. So Ishvara Srishteshu Panchabhuteshu Satsu Karmasu Nashteshu. If the karma is destroyed, no longer there, then what is it that is going to give or create a body which you can acquire? And whenever the body is acquired, what is the next thing? Dukkham is waiting to jump on you. So if you are going to say, no, 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 only Indians have problems, then go be born as Italian and discover You will not have Indian problems there. You will have Italian problems now. Huh? So therefore, problems don't cease. Whether you, even if you, these are all, we are mortals, and that's why we have these problems. Go to the immortal worlds, the world of immortal. There, they will have their own problems, isn't it? Here you have temporary problems because this is a temporary world. In immortal world, immortal problem, the problem forever. At least here in this life, the husband and wife has a little belief. Next life, I will not get him, or I will not get her. Now, what will you do in immortal world? Continue forever. So therefore, there is. So no matter which body you have, dukkham continues. And so, but when will the sharira will not be there? So the material cause is there, but if the nimitta karanam is absent, then the sharira will not be there. The body will not be there. What is the nimitta karanam? Karma is the nimitta karanam. Then under what circumstances that is karma? You deciding that I will not do any karma. Deciding not doing any karma itself becomes a karma. Therefore, you cannot escape karma. Karma is going to be there. Then under what is it and where is it that the karma becomes absent, nullified? Where? How? And so therefore he says, Atmajnanena karmasu nashteshu. It is only in the wake of Atmajnanam. Okay? Atmajnanena karmasu nashteshu. Tasya jnaninaha shariram notpadyate. Notpadyate means that no is English no only. No. Yeah, English. It is a sandhi, conjugation. Na utpadyate. Okay. Mhm. No. Jnani Sharira? No. I was in Pune long time ago. And so the Pune vernacular Gujarati medium school was there. So I was this school teacher and the whole family that time, 98, 99, they were very, very attached. So they used to call me for Viksha at their home. And this lady was a school teacher then. And she, English teacher in that Gujarati medium school. So in the exam, there was one sentence for translation. A cow has two horns and a donkey has no horns. And this is the sentence to be translated to Gujarati from English. So now, what was the translation one boy wrote? The cow hears the horn twice and donkey does not hear the horn. Why? Because two horn means papa, and donkey, no horn. Translated. Tasya jnaninaha shariram notpadyate. This body, he does not acquire the body. Who? Jnani. Why? It is because of this self-knowledge, means knowing that this Atma is Brahman, this I is Purnamastu. Now, This I is not something which can be accommodated in a small little body and will jump from one body to another body. Then how is this I? Anantam. How can that what is Anantam be fit into, made to sit into this small little body, and therefore not possible. So, Atmajnanena karmasu nashteshu tasya jnaninaha sharitam notpadyate. So, actually, what should happen? That it is through the knowledge that ignorance should get destroyed. What should get destroyed? Because knowledge cannot destroy anything else other than ignorance. So suppose you know what is there in my fist, closed fist here. Do you know? Huh? So now we can assume that you have ignorance about the object in my fist. You do not know because that is your experience. Now keep your eyes open and I suppose there is adequate light. And here is the object in my method. A marigold flower. You people can see that, or the OBS is doing something. Can you see?
Yeah, we are able to see flower.
Uh, Flower. This is okay. This is better. This color is better, right?
Yeah.
Marigold flower. So now the knowledge is there. Now can you still have experience of this object as I don't know? Do you have this experience? Or what was your earlier experience regarding this object? I don't know. Now, can you repeat this experience of this object? I don't know. What happened to that experience? It cannot come back again. And therefore it is gone, destroyed. So what does knowledge do? Knowledge destroys ignorance. This is an established fact that knowledge destroys ignorance. But now the author is saying knowledge, the self-knowledge destroys karma, which is the nimitta karanam of sharira. You understand? Now, should you not be questioning this issue? And how are you saying that knowledge destroys the karma? It is fine that there is Vedavakyam is available. Hidyate hridaya granthihi छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयाः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि तस्मिन् दृष्टे परावरे. In knowing, in darshanam of that paravara vastu. Okay, paravara means higher than the highest. Okay, Parmeshwara only. In knowing Paramatma, what has happened? All these things have happened. So, three things he has said. Hridaya Granthi is destroyed. Samshayas are destroyed. Samshaya means doubts. Doubts are destroyed. And even the karma is also destroyed. Three things are said to be. This is Veda Vakyam. Now you cannot alter it. Only thing is left to you is to understand it. If you find that there is a discrepancy, which means there is a discrepancy in your understanding which needs to be bridged. Not that you have to modify the Shastra because you have found a discrepancy. And if that discrepancy cannot be bridged by any ways, then we are going to say that that Shastra is defective. That Shastra is defective, and if it is defective, reject it altogether. Why just one portion of it? If one portion can be wrong, then the possibility of everything else, the possibility of there being error in everything else is also there. Then why keep fondling it? Drop it. You understand? And therefore, when you are dealing with Shastra, you cannot be cherry picking like this. This is correct, this is wrong. No, either पूरा का पूरा ठीक है या तो पूरा का पूरा गलत है, रख दो साइड, हमको नहीं चाहिए तुम्हारा शास्त्र. क्या कहा? What was said? That established fact is that knowledge destroys ignorance. But here it is said, Atmajnanena karmasu nashteshu tasya jnaninaha shariram notpadyate. Now, if you are going to have this Shraddha, Satyavachan Guruji, you can take it. You can keep it. There's no harm. This is a workable model. At least in Vedanta, this will work. Okay? Not that, you don't have to, mat karo. It will work, even if you just accept it that way. No padyate further. So therefore, there is yet another doubt which is raised, and that is from the Karma Shastra standpoint. Now, the first one was that ignorance is capable of destroying only, the knowledge is capable of destroying only ignorance. How come there is a claim that knowledge destroys karma? This is going to be your one question. This is one question. Now, there is yet another question which is raised, and that is, so we will deal with these questions. Keep them with you. Do the charvadam, masticate it. What is it called that when the cows, the herbivorous animals, they do that all the time. Now, जुगाली को इंग्लिश में क्या बोलते हैं?
Mowing something?
What? No, no, no.
Support from.
It is a word with starting with R.
Ruminate.
Ruminate.
Yes.
You see, ruminate. So now these are the questions. Ruminate over it. So what happens? Here he says, Nanu karma shastre avashyam anubhoktavyam kritam karma shubhasham. Now it is inevitable that you will have to undergo the experience, the result of the karma, whether it is shubha or ashubha. Okay? Whether it is punya karma or papa karma, you will have to experience its phalam. So karma phala, you cannot escape it. Avashyam, there is no vasha. तुम्हारा बस नहीं चल सकता. It is not under your control any longer. Till the karma is performed, that can be under your control. But once it is done, after that, the result of that karma, avashyameva anubhoktavyam. Why anubhoktavyam? Because it follows. Anubhoktavyam kritam karma shubha shubham. This is the rule. Karma Shastra. Na bhuktam kshiyate karma kalpakoti shatairapi. And therefore, don't you ever think that, how come these people who are living a very sinful life are living very comfortably and all? They are not living because they are not living comfortably and luxurious life because they are sinning. You understand? Because of some purva karma, now they are enjoying that life. But the result of the papa karma will come to them. Wait. But for you to wait and see, you can't, because now your memory is limited to one life time. Okay? Your memory is limited to just one lifetime, and in this lifetime only you have already forgotten so many things. तो क्या याद रखेंगे, है ना? इतना ही. बट अवश्यम ना भू ना भुक्तम क्षीयते कर्म. That karma which is the result of that karma phala, that karma is not going to go away without yielding you its experience of joy and sorrow. Even if it means that it will come to you after millions of other life cycles. Huh? I'm saying cycles, kalpa. Kalpa koti shataihi api. Even if it is no matter a small path that you have done, but you will have to experience it. So you cannot escape. Hmm. But ask others if I have not done. Whether others are not at all. What do they call a standard over here? Your karma, you are the sakshi. Ishvara is the sakshi. No, it comes. Avashyam. दूसरों को यहाँ पे तुम उल्लू बनाओ. तुम जो कर्म का न्याय है उससे तुम बच नहीं सकते. वो इंसाफ करके रहेगा. Because the result that you may get in this one lifetime is not enough. Say, suppose there is a person who has murdered about 10 people. So now, even if your Supreme Court was also going to penalize him by, giving him a death sentence, how many times can he die? So he will experience the death only once. But that pain of the death he has created 9 more times. What about it? So where is the justice delivered? This is not justice. What about that 9 times of pain that he has created? You understand what I'm saying? And therefore, he will have to be born 9 more times, and he will have to suffer that kind of death. Then only there will be justice delivered. Justice de diya, justice. This is not justice. Huh? This Kejriwal and all these people are distributing some swing machines to these people who are rapists. Huh? You imagine the pain, you imagine the humiliation, you imagine everything that somebody has undergone. And then your humanitarian rights. This is not humanitarian. If you want to give a humanitarian treatment, then might as well give it to all the animals that are dying. Why aren't you giving your humanitarian treatment there? Because this fellow is not worthy of being called as a human being. I say Hayvaniyat. No. He has to undergo Kalpakoti Shatairapi. He will suffer. Iti. Then, so this is Karma Shastra. Jnana Shastra. So Moksha Shastra, what happens? Jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. Now, Bhagavan Shri Krishna in the 4th chapter and 37th verse says, that the fire of knowledge destroys, burns down all the karma to the ashes. Now something is burned down to the ashes means now it is not only it is ineffectual, but it is not existing, isn't it? Say suppose you can burn down a rope. You may see the shape of the rope, but is that rope? Some people, I had this one opportunity once to go to this electric crematorium. Okay. And in that electric crematorium, they push that cart inside, which is a furnace, and there is high voltage that is running round and round and round. And in 15-20 minutes, the body is totally burnt up to the bones. When they opened the lid, the door of that, now, you could actually see the shape of the body with its chadar and everything as it is. But when they pulled it out, everything crumbled down, the ash. Like that, when you can see the shape of something, but it means it is nothing. Actually, nothing. So, Jnanagni Takta Karma, Sarva Karma. So, what does this Jnanagni do? Jnanagni means ज्ञान की अग्नि, ज्ञान को आग लगाओ नहीं. हाँ. Knowledge is the fire. So what does that do? It burns down all the karma. Bhasmasat kurute. Avashyam anu. Now, therefore, these two shastra is both the parts, the karma shastra and the jnana shastra. It is Veda. Okay? That's why you have these two parts, portions of the Veda. Karma Kanda and Jnana Kandam. Kandam means Hindi wala कांड नहीं, portion. A criminal harkat is called as कांड. So now what happened? So what happened is now this karma kanda and jnana kanda, both of them are the same Veda. So in one portion the Veda says, Shastra says, avashyam anubhoktavyam kritam karma shubha shubham. In another place, the Shastra says, jnana agni tat karmanam bhasmasat kurute tata. So just as the fire burns down even a mountain of cotton, like that the fire of knowledge burns down all the karma, no matter how ghor, how horrible, sinful that karma was. But it will all be destroyed through knowledge. What is the condition? Only that the knowledge should take place. Okay? Iti vachanayoho parasparam virodhe katham nirnayah kartavyah. So now there is a very interesting, topic also, that how the nirnaya is to be done. Nirnaya means, nirnaya means conclusion also, yeah, in this context. How are you going to conclude? How are you going to arrive at the right understanding? Katham. So, about this topic, Jnana Kanda and Karma Kanda's Virodha, that is one thing. But one more interesting topic that you will come to understand from this is how then the Shastra resolves these kinds of conflicts. Internal Virodha. Okay? Contradictions. There has to be a way. If that contradiction remains, which means both of it will nullify. Both of them will become, the whole Shastra will become nullified. And therefore, Paraspara Virodhe Katham Nirnaya Kartavyaha. How the Nirnaya, how the conclusion should be reached. Iti chet, if this is your question, so there is two questions. You understand there are two questions? That in with the Jnana Kanda and Karma Kanda, there is a Virodha and how that Virodha has to be resolved. But when it comes to this kind of any kind of Virodha in the internal Virodha in the Shastra, how should that be resolved? This is the second issue. You see? And this is what we are going to see. Iti chet, if this is your question, Shrunu. Shrunu means listen attentively. Why listen attentively? Because you're looking at the watch. Uh, then, Shastre Prabalavachanam Durbalavachanam cha asti. In the Shastra, there are two vachanas. Vachanas means sentences. One kind of sentence is called as the Prabala Vachana, a strong one. And the other one is called as Durbala Vachana. So as long as the Prabala Vachana does not come to play its role, the Durbala Vachana is a sentence presenting a fact. Okay, it is presenting a fact. So over here, Shastre Prabalavachanam, Durbalavachanam cha asti. What is called as Prabalavachanam? Prabalam Siddhanta Vachanam. Durbalam Purvapakya Vachanam. This is a very, what do they call, and very cursory, elementary book. So this is how they are going to give the definitions, but it is good for the beginners. What is called as what will be classified as Prabala Vachanam? Siddhanta Vachanam, the statement which is regarding the Siddha Vastu, that what is proven. Okay, Siddhanta. Okay, Siddhanta. Now that Anta also over here means a conclusion, or that Anta also like Vedanta. In that word Vedanta, Veda and Anta. What is that Anta means? The final conclusion. Anta. Anta over here just does not mean the end. That's it. किसको? बुलाओ यहाँ पे. हाँ. Let that thing come. This. Come. Siddhant. Come. Please come. Come and sit here in the front. How many of you are here? Okay, come join. Come in the front. Okay. Prabala Vachanam, Siddhanta Vachanam. So Siddhanta, the word Siddha means something that is proven. Okay. So now something gets proven, which means now that Vachanam is a statement of fact. So a statement of fact is always going to be strong. Now let us say you have two statements. Assuming that you are sitting that far away, and therefore the object in my hand may not be visible to you. Okay? It may not be visible to you. So now you are going to say there is something in Swamiji's hand, perhaps a eraser, an eraser. Okay? An eraser. Swamiji is holding an eraser. Is it an eraser? You can ask, because you may not be too sure about it. And therefore you can ask, is it an eraser? Or you can say it may be an eraser. Both the statements that you have made. Now there is yet another statement regarding the same object. Which object? The object in my hand. And so then you are going to say, well, this is a flower. So you have these two statements. Now, one statement is a statement of fact, whereas the other statement is a statement of inquiry. Or it could be a statement, just plain statement, if not by expressing a doubt or an inquiry, it could be a statement of error. So now, out of these two statements, which statement are you going to say is powerful? Powerful means that which is going to sustain itself, which will not get cancelled, which will not get cancelled, nullified. Okay. So out of this is an eraser, this is a flower. Out of these two statements, which statement is going to sustain? Why? Because it is a statement of fact. Okay. There is then, therefore, the Siddhanta Vachanam is called as Prabala Vachanam, whereas the Purva Paksha Vachanam is called as Durbala Vachanam, as simple. Got it? Now, this is a very cursory definition. Huh? Kaam chalao. This is a very cursory definition of Siddhanta Vachanam and this thing, Prabala Vachanam and Durbala Vachanam. But he gives you yet another very interesting statement. Okay. As for you to understand when can something be called as Prabala and some statement can become Durbala. And the example that he's going to give is very, very poignant. Here it is. Tad yatha. Now what happens is Prabalam Durbalam Nirasyati. What will the Prabalam do to the Durbala? क्या करेगा? What useless it will do? Huh? It will not even push it to the backyard. Gone. Nirasyati. निराकरण कर देगा, है ना? So how? Prabalam durbalam nirasyati. Okay. Tadyatha. How, sir? How do you say that? Can you provide us an example? Yes, here it is. And Gaurav, you will like this. I mean, because you will have several things, to argue about. Take it up. Ahimsa paramudharma. This is statement from Mahamandaleshwar. Ahimsa sushastram. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Non-violence is the highest righteousness, supreme righteousness. Paramaha. Iti vachanam prabalam api sat. This is true. As long as you are doing your vyavahara, this is true. Yage pashuvadah kartavyaha iti prabalena vachanena dasyate. Now, there are certain yagas. Yagas meaning the rituals, fire rituals, etc., where some Pashubali has to be done. Now, every ritual over here is meant to create punyam. What is it meant to create? Okay, punyam. The yaga or any ritual is not meant so that you can create pap. It creates pap. No, it will create that punya. Then comes the question, if ahimsa is to be followed, then when it comes to rituals like these, what will happen? Okay, so he says over here, though this vachana ahimsa paramo dharma is prabalamapi sat, yage pashuvadah kartavyaha yeti ati prabalena vachanena nidasyate. Now over there in that yaga, you will have to do, but it does not become papa in that case. Then let us extend this to something more. Ahimsa paramo dharma. Yet, when will you follow that ahimsa? When can you to what? When can you follow even live your value of ahimsa? Only if the other person values it. Only then this transaction can take place. Let us say, I have this 1 rupee coin. For me, this is 1 rupee. For you, but then if you are going to say, well, I don't recognize this as 1 rupee, I am going to call it 10 paisa. Can we have this transaction of 1 rupee ever? So there is a value, and that value has to be recognized by both the parties. Only then we are on the platform to have a transaction. If both the parties are not going to recognize this value, then how can this be called as a value? Ahimsa is a value to me, but to you, it is not. Under these circumstances, will I be able to follow? Otherwise, you will go to jungle and then you will stand in front of a tiger. I'm vegetarian. Huh? What? The tiger, you are vegetarian or vegan. Huh? So, you know what happened was, one day, one man went on this tiger safari somewhere. Then, in that safari, that jeep beach raste mein band pad gayi and the tiger came. So this man then tells the tiger, I'm vegetarian, you know. I'm vegetarian. The tiger then says, very good. Today I felt like eating vegetarian. Today I was planning to eat something vegetarian only. Good. Does it work? A value means it has to be recognized on by both the parties. Paramudharma. And therefore, if you are going to follow whatever you have to follow, that's okay. But if you are going to cause a trouble to me, now I have to defend myself. Now that defending also would mean that you raise your voice, you raise your protest or you raise your hand. Whether voice, protest, or hand, it will all account to. But why are you doing this himsa? So that you can follow ahimsa. Now you see. So therefore, there are prabala vachanas and there are ati prabala vachanas. And therefore, the one, though both of these are given to you by the Shastra, then when this vachana becomes, something becomes durbala, when can it become prabala? This nirnaya has to be done. Okay? So over iti, prabalena vachanena nirasyate. Evam, so also now. You come back to our topic of discussion. What were we discussing? That avashyam anubhoktavyam kritam karma shubha shubham. You have no choice regarding the fruit of action that you will have to reap. Meaning that you will have to experience the fruit of action, the result of the action. You cannot escape it. Whether that is Shubha Karma or Ashubha Karma. Avashyam Anubhoktavyam Kritam Karma Shubha Shubham. This is the golden rule. Though this is the rule, yet Jnanam destroys the karma is also the rule. Okay? That knowledge destroys the karma. This is also the rule. And therefore, iti iti evam avashyam anubhoktavyam iti vachanam tapasa kilbisham hanti iti prabala vachanena durbalam sannirasyate. Now let us not go up to knowledge yet. Even before we go to knowledge, we have two types of karma. One karma, you already have done a mistake, done something wrong. Now that wrong, that papa karma, is going to bring the papa result, which means suffering in some form. Therefore, don't say, oh, why am I suffering? Why am I suffering? Because this is your lot, sir. Then that papa is sitting and it is till it is going to give you everything, it will not get finished. And that everything does not mean that they're finished. Till that karma gets finished, the next one is still waiting in the line. So what happens over here is, he is saying, tapasa kilbisham hanti. Through the tapa, the papa karma can be destroyed. Now that papa is already committed. Now, what can you do about it? But sit over there and now only wait for it to come and fall on your head. He says there is a way. Okay. And that is called as the action of atonement. Action of atonement. You have done. That's why there is prayashchitta karma. So you have already done. The damage is done. But you can do something to check the damage. Correct? That's why you keep saying sorry. Whatever you have said is already said. But at least now you're saying and apologizing. It is a way of controlling the damage. Like that, the papa karma is done. But if you follow with tapa, some sort of tapa, the Shastriya tapa, what will it do? Kilbisham mahanti, tapasa kilbisham mahanti, iti prabala vachanena durbalam nirasyate. So, avashyam anubhoktavyam is the Shastra vachanam. But tapasa kilbisham hanti becomes even ati prabalam. Becomes ati. Both of these are statements of fact. And that is how you will have to understand that the Shastra Vachanas, you are not altering the Shastra Vachana. What are you doing? Just understanding it through the right perspective. So that the what you had visualized was the internal conflict. Now, is there an internal conflict? Avashyam anubhoktavyam, yes, true. Tapasa kilbisham hanti, yes, that is also true. Now, there is no discrepancy, nor is there any sort of contradiction or conflict in your understanding. And this is how you resolve it. So now we have to see to it that that the conflict is resolved with regards to the topic that karma is anubhoktavyam, avashyam anubhoktavyam, whereas knowledge is said to be that power which destroys the karma. Karma cannot be destroyed without having experienced it. One vachanam. Karma gets destroyed, another. Now, how are you going to bridge this gap, resolve this conflict, resolve this contradiction is what we have to see. And with that, what will happen? The Chaturtha Varnakam will be finished. We will finish the fourth chapter of Laghuvasudeva Mananam, which we will see in our next class. Om Namadaha Vidam Naha Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashit Vande Bhagavan ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति विभेद विभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तेहाय Thank you all. Thank you very much.